Next, Mr. Metcalf here welcomed in President and Vice Presidential candidates Emily Laudner and Colin Jacobs. Let's take a look at that.
Joining me now is Presidential candidate Emily Laudner and Vice Presidential candidate Colin Jacobs to discuss their platform and campaign. So first off, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having us.
So can you begin by just talking about why both of you are running in the first place?
Well, we both feel very strongly about giving the student body a voice, especially with the positive outlook of the institutional changes coming up here at Wartburg College. Making sure all the students have a say, their reflections are then relayed back to high administration here at Wartburg is very important to both of us.
Yeah, in the past, I think the communication dialogue has been a little diminished over the last few years. I think it's really important that, especially now that these changes are going to be implemented in the next year, that we really give the students a more broad voice and that voice that they used to have a few years ago.
Okay, so what is your main focus then for running the election?
Our main focus would be to make sure all students are heard in the next finishing out this academic year and the next academic year. To accomplish this, we are going to kind of look at revamping hall councils to try and add in another line of communication between students and senators so we can have more direct communication. You know, we send out newsletters every week. We hope that the senators are sending those out, but communication is lost. It's just through email. So adding in another component of hall councils of having informal gatherings about once a month or so would kind of give that direct communication where senators can approach students with ideas that task forces are thinking about, and as well as students know when they can come reach Senate about specific issues.
And you guys have different political views, so how did you two kind of end up together?
So for those people who are watching right now who don't know, I'm president of the Wartburg College Democrats. Emily is the president of the Wartburg College Republicans. And actually that kind of strengthened our relationship at the beginning of this year with the political scene and the election in the United States. We're working together on bringing a voter satellite place here on campus so people could vote on campus. And we started talking and we were in Senate together. And I think it really strengthened our relationship and showed that just because we have different political views doesn't mean that we can't get along and be really good friends. And I think that's a message that can spread throughout campus because I think there was a divide that was felt after the election. I think Emily and I running together is a good example of how we can have a good active dialogue. We might not agree with each other on some aspects, but it's good to have that conversation and find a common ground.
So lastly, what is the reason that you two are the best fit for student body president and vice president?
Well, first off, I've been on the exec team for 2 years, whereas collectively our other opposing candidates, they've only had about 1 year. Especially with the different experience that I have in the 2 years of the exec team, I've reached out to multiple areas on campus and have connections already formed with different places of like maintenance, security, res life, student life, just a multitude of different areas that I've reached out to the last 2 years. I have a founding communication line with them already, so that's definitely very helpful.
I think what's important too is that Senate is a pretty large organization here on campus, encompassing many aspects of the campus. And because we both have run our own organizations, our respective organizations, we know how to successfully manage our time and create change on campus, whereas our opposing ticket doesn't really have that executive experience. So I think we have the experience necessary to bring about the change that we hope to.
So I want to say thank you to both of you guys for joining me today, and elections will take place on Friday.